Welcome into Glendale High School, where Mediacom brings you boys high school basketball this evening here on MC22. Tonight, it's an Ozark Conference matchup between the Hillcrest Hornets and the Glendale Falcons. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Falcon Court at Glendale. I'm Don West, joined this evening by Corey Riggs. Tonight, it's a good Ozark Conference and City matchup tonight between the Hornets and the Falcons. Both teams 2-0 in the Ozark Conference, and a Hillcrest team, Corey, that comes in on a 10-game winning streak tonight.
Yeah, you got to go all the way back to December 6th to find the last time they lost, and that was to a very good Bolivar Liberator team. This is a Hillcrest team that is exceeding expectations this year.
Now the Glendale Falcons come in at 13-5 overall. They themselves have won 7 straight and haven't lost in calendar year 2017.
They've been very good so far. They've played a tougher schedule this year, and they even won the Kaminsky tournament down in Joplin, but they've got one of the best backcourts in Southwest Missouri, so expectations maybe a little bit higher for the Falcons right now.
Their last loss to Republic in the blue and gold finals. Here they are on their home floor this evening as the Falcons host the Hillcrest Hornets, and all the action comes your way next right here on MC22.
I wasn't going to stop until we got it resolved.
I want to recognize one of your employees for her great service.
Gina made some changes to her email setup and was having some issues accessing her messages.
My email structure is fairly complex. Kristen had her whole team on it and kept me informed every step of the way.
We had to try a lot of different solutions, but I wasn't going to stop until we got it resolved.
Somehow, Kristen fixed the unfixable.
I'm Kristen, and I'm your local internet expert.
Hillcrest Hornets and the Glendale Falcons tonight at Glendale. The winner stays undefeated in Ozark Conference play this evening. So a big matchup here in the early part of the Ozark Conference season. The Hillcrest Hornets tonight look like this. At guard, it's Cole Pryor with Sam Terry and Malik Starks, with one senior there, Terry. Tyem Freeman, a sophomore, 18 points a game, and Tim Washington, a junior, at forward as well. Head coach Joel Brown in his second season at Hillcrest, a 20-21 record, the Evangel graduate, former Kickapoo assistant coach. On the Glendale side, it's Monty Johal and Jordan Walton, who combine for 48 points a game average. Jackson Davis is a junior, Josh Call a senior, and Garrett Freeman a junior, and they are all guards for the Glendale Falcons. Coached by Brian McTague in his 4th season, a record of 62-39 through 101 games as the Falcon head coach. Your officiating crew tonight, Landon Gray, Darren Banner, and Jason Isles. A little bit of history on the line tonight here at Glendale. Jordan Walton and Monty Johal, both in Glendale's all-time top 10 in career scoring. Jordan Walton down there at 1,233 points, and if Monty Johal should go off for 43 tonight, he would pass Spud Harbor for Glendale's all-time career scoring record. The Falcons in white and the Hornets in blue. 114th all-time meeting, with Glendale leading 75-38 in the series. The tip controlled by Hillcrest. What a run by these Hornets, 10 in a row, haven't lost since early December.
It doesn't matter what level of basketball you play, whether you're a Class 1 team or a Class 5 team, to string together 10 wins through the tournament portion of the season especially is a remarkable feat.
Win of a tournament down in Arkansas for the Hornets. The 3 is off for Cole Pryor, and it's out of bounds to Glendale.
And it's just, it seems like it's been at least 6 or 7 years now, Don, that there's always a Pryor shooting threes in that Hillcrest uniform.
Ryland Pryor, the older brother. Jordan Pryor, a sister for the Lady Hornets. Now, here come the Hornets, and it's broken up by Walton.
Athletic play. Tim Washington jumped the route took the pass away for a steal, and they were off to the races, but give Jordan Walton credit to get back and break this up. You see the steal by Washington, and Walton with the hand in the passing lane.
Tyen Freeman out front for Hillcrest. And underneath, and an open man, and Tim Washington gets us started tonight. And it's out of bounds to the Hornets.
More hustle by these Hornets early, Don, is really impressive. They are motivated out on the floor, as you see Joel Brown talking to his team here. Jim's getting loud already.
Blackout night in the Hillcrest stands. Inside, count it for Sam Terry, and the Falcon foul.
Sam Terry, the 6-foot senior, goes through the lane, and he got absolutely hammered. As he goes up for this, he's going to get the option for the three-point play here. You see a hip check, just drops him straight to the ground. So the foul's against Glendale's Josh Call.
Three-point conversion for Terry, and Hillcrest out to a 5-0 lead after a minute. Glendale team 13-5 overall. Walton reached in upon before he went into his shooting motion. And it goes to Sam Terry. First Hornet foul of the evening. Ryan McTagg, the former Branson and Clever coach at Branson for 1 year and Clever for 7 before becoming the Glendale head coach. He was the Glendale freshman coach here for 4 years. Walton can't connect on the three from the corner. Hornets on the run, and there's a foul on Garrett Freeman coming up floor.
Tyen Freeman flew up for the rebound, and Hillcrest was going the other way in a hurry. It'll be an inbounds in front of the Glendale student section.
Not sure what to make of the theme tonight over there for Glendale. A lot of different things going on over there. Some pajamas, some, I don't know what else. Out of bounds will be the Hornets ball. Now, I don't know that I'd sleep in the Moose outfit, but yeah.
Hey, Rucky, what you put a rabbit out of my head?
Again. Starks, pass is taken away by Jackson Davis. Joe Hall from the corner, 4-3.
Monty Joe Hall can't be left alone anywhere on the floor. He's got the green light to shoot once he's in the gym, as Cole Pryor answers with the 2. Don, you and I talked off air before this one got started. Would Hillcrest try and run with this open foot on the gas sort of Glendale offense? I believe the answer is a resounding yes.
Jackson Davis with the 3. He is Glendale's leading three-point shooter. That's his 62nd make of the year. 40% from the arc this year for Jackson Davis. A foul to Joe Hall.
Monty Joe Hall left his feet that time and reached back behind to try and impede the Hornet that he was covering, but instead gets called for the first personal, the third team foul already here in quarter number 1 against the Falcons.
Hornets last game, a win over Central on Friday, 79-62. Glendale defeated Branson Friday, 91-68. Joe Hall went off for 34 in that game. Conference wins for the Hornets over Waynesville and Rolla in double overtime. And Glendale has beaten Camdenton and Lebanon. On the run, here's Joe Hall. And just like that, Glendale has its first lead. 3 minutes in. Starks to the basket. Count that one for Malik Starks, brother of the former Hornets and Falcon star Trey Starks. The miss by Davis.
Well, they are just running up and down the floor, both teams, the Hornets and the Falcons. Nobody taking a very long possession. There's a beautiful pass down to the right block and a finish for Tim Washington. He's got 4 points.
And Washington had 19 against Central Friday to tie his career high. And Jordan Walton is on the board now for the Falcons.
What was the final score of the JV game? 99-73?
Yeah.
We might get close to that at the rate we're going in the varsity game, too.
The Glendale JV scored 32 in the first quarter and beat Glendale 99-73. Big game for Winston Quinn in the Glendale JV. He went off for 39 in 3 quarters.
Big rebound that time for Glendale. Josh Calls, he went up and over everybody.
Wow. That would have been an amazing finish for Walton. Intercepted by Call.
Doesn't look like a soccer player, Don. He looks like a free safety the way he took that one away.
Stays out this time.
Malik Starks with the rebound.
We'll be here again Thursday night for girls basketball coverage as Glendale hosts the Central Lady Bulldogs. Out of bounds to the Hornets here, and Josh Powell and Sean Clark check in. Clark had been a starter, but coming off the bench now, averaging 9.5. And Grant Schafitzel is in for the Hornets as well.
And that's the top 8 that Joel Brown will run out there. 1 or 2 other players that will come off the bench, a couple of guys that we talked about during the JV game.
Hillcrest suddenly ends up with numbers here, and Sean Clark takes it right in and scores.
Instant offense. They bring the ball on the inbounds play to Clark between the circles, and he finished at the rim.
Walton will go to the line for 2. Sean Clark gets the foul, his first. Just the second Hornet team foul. Jordan Walton at the line. So he needs 34 more points to move up a notch on the Glendale scoring list. He is chasing Kurt Brockman, who played in the early 80s, big man, about 6'8", and went to Mizzou. Four now for Jordan.
76 of 92 on the season from the free throw line for better than 82, now almost 83% for Walt.
Cole Pryor with the score.
Well, everybody's hitting right now, Don.
First quarter action at Glendale. Joe Hall. Oh, stays out.
Went halfway down before it came back out.
And a foul as Tyem Freeman gets hit as he goes in.
Freeman is an explosive talent that has just kind of broken out this year. He had a great performance in the Bass Pro Shops Tournament of Champions Slam Dunk Contest, made it to the finals. There you see him getting wiped out, but he'll get a chance at the line here.
Tyem Freeman leaves it out on the first. And here's Sam Terry back in as Pryor comes out. For Glendale, Josh Call got his second foul. And Winston Quinn is in after he put 39 on the board in the junior varsity.
I bet he was hoping he was going to have a little bit more time to catch his breath.
1 out of 2 for Freeman. Monty Johal is climbing another chart now, and he's just 1 point away and 1 from tying and 2 from passing. Now Greg Kavanagh on the Springfield Public Schools all-time scoring list. He is currently 5th on that chart. Timeout for Hillcrest with 2:27 to go in the first.
Now, and he's chasing a name that everybody is very familiar with, and that will eventually be Doriel Green Beckham. 2,092 points. He was the first male basketball player in SPS history to eclipse the 2,000-point plateau. And of course, we should point out, if we didn't mention it right off the top of the show, this is only Joe Hall's junior season. He and Jordan Walton are juniors, not seniors.
Monty on the cusp of becoming Glendale's all-time leading scorer in 3 years with a full senior year to go.
Yeah, he and Jordan Walton are going to rewrite a new chapter in the basketball record book here in Springfield. And here before too long, you talk about Hillcrest and Glendale as Joe Hall gets fouled, and he will now have a chance to tie and move ahead of Kavanagh at the free throw line, shooting 3 here.
Josh Powell the foul and Joe Hall shooting. So at the moment, Monty at 1,548 points. One more would tie him with Greg Kavanagh, the Parkview grad of 1981, who also went to Mizzou. Played kind of back up to Stepanovic in the great Tiger days of the early 80s.
That's saying something.
So the first one down for the tie. And still has 2 to go. No problem there.
Joe Hall, a better than 82% free throw shooter. He leads the team in free throws made and attempted with 106 of 129.
So he is now the 4th all-time leading scorer in Springfield Public Schools history, behind Doriel Green Beckham of Hillcrest, Matt Miller of Parkview, and Spud Harbor of Glendale. There's Walton on the lead in.
Yes, and Monty, Joe Hall had the assist, a bullet bounce pass that hit Jordan Walton right on the hip, and he converted.
Stark's pass hits the rim, and it's out of bounds to the Falcons. So your current SPS scoring leaders now, with Joe Hall at 1,551 ahead of Greg Kavanagh and chasing Spud Harbor for Glendale's all-time record. Now Hornets ball, Doriel Green Beckham, 2,098.
Matt Miller, a Parkview product, went on to quite a bit of acclaim at Drury.
And this will bounce home for Sean Clark. Walton on Glendale's end, and the track meet is on. Walton and Joe Hall with 8 each. 16 of Glendale's 19.
What a great wraparound pass to Tim Washington. He's got 6.
Here's Monty. And blocked. No foul, and now a foul on Walton will be his first. So Jordan Walton the foul. And on the other end the save.
This is the Sean Clark beautiful wraparound pass and finish to Tim Washington. Washington's got 6 points now. Clark goes out. The Glendale Falcon fans here wanted a foul when Joe Hall went up. He went up like he was going to dunk, then changed to a finger roll. That's obviously what head coach Brian McTagg's talking about.
And another look at that wraparound to Washington. Now, who's got it? It hits the sideline. It's out of bounds. Last touch by Pryor, and it's Glendale's ball.
Great pressure defense. Garrett Freeman, Winston Quinn up on their toes, pressuring Hillcrest into a turnover, and it's a 1-point game.
A minute to go in the first. Walton, yes.
Jordan Walton, the first player to hit double figures scoring. He's got 10 now.
Inside, stolen by Quinn. Able to pass out of trouble at midcourt, but now it's stolen maybe by Starks if he can hang on. He gets the pass to Freeman, but no basket. It's a travel.
Tyen Freeman threw down a emphatic two-handed jam, and it's wiped off the board because he took an extra step to elevate.
Another one of those plays that you might be able to get away with in college, but not high school.
Absolutely.
The three is good for Jackson Davis, his second. Now 15 seconds for the Hornets. Underneath and back out to Pryor. He'll go for 2, and that's down. 5 seconds for Glendale. Walton, foul line. Yes! You are in the right place tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, stay with us. After a quarter, it's 26-22 Glendale.
Hi, I'm Brett Johnston. Watch Soundcheck on MC22 for a look inside the Springfield music scene. Recorded right here at the Classic Rock Coffee Company, Soundcheck features an in-depth look at local bands with original music performances and sit-down interviews. Catch it on MC22, on demand, or online at mc22.net. From our stage to your living room, Soundcheck is your local music connection.
Have you heard? Mediacom Internet customers can upgrade to the next level of super fast speed for just $10. If you're like most families, your need for speed keeps increasing.
This is incredible.
For Mediacom customers, that's not a problem. Upgrade from 15 meg to 50 meg or from 50 to 100 meg for only $10 more a month. And upgrading is as quick and easy as one phone call. Faster is better. Don't wait. Call 888-SIMPLIFY today.
Glendale by 4 as we go to the second quarter here at Falcon Court. Walton 12 points, Joe Hall 8 for Glendale, and Cole Pryor and Tim Washington 6 to lead the Hornets. Tipped and taken by Clark. If he can hang on. And then there's a foul in there, and it's going to be a second foul on Jordan Walton. So Walton and Call, Glendale starters with 2 fouls each now. 6th Glendale team foul.
And you're thinking that Walton couldn't come out possibly here on the next dead ball, but he knows how to play in this situation. Coach McTagg may leave him out there for a bit if the game slows down.
Davis, his 3rd 3. And the Hornets get it going a little too fast.
I think Jackson Davis may have gotten raked in the eye. May have gotten a cut above his eye, and he's leaving the floor because he's bleeding.
Winston Quinn is in. So 29-22. Glendale.
Now, we heard Coach Brown talk about this at Tip-Off Club earlier in the week, Don, that Hillcrest started using a full court and 3/4 court press just in the last week or two. It doesn't stop Glendale getting the ball up court, but they do have a takeaway and a miss by Freeman.
Right underneath. Here's Quinn. Keeping the fire burning from the JV.
He lit up the Hillcrest JV defense for 39, and he has not lost his shot here in the second quarter of the varsity game.
Glendale fouled at Joe Hall, and that's his 2nd. And Hillcrest is into the 1-and-1. So foul concerns for Brian McTagg now. Sean Clark to the line for the 1-and-1. He averages 9.5 a game. Scored 11 against Central on Friday.
An all-conference honorable mention last season. And a player that a lot of the preseason reports and everything else had tabbed as having a breakout year, and has now become the 6th man for this Hornets team, but a very valuable part of their offense.
Walton. 3 won't go. Hornets safely into forecourt and down to Washington. That rolls off. Joe Hall the rebound. Lost the ball, but he taps it back.
Wow.
Knew where he was on the floor and that he could do that. Walton drives in and scores. He has 14.
And what made that play even more improbable was he got that up and above the outstretched arms of 6'4" Ty Freeman.
Now step in and miss by Terry. And a foul. And that's a Glendale foul to Freeman, and that's his second. So now 4 Glendale starters with 2 fouls each, and there's still 6:01 to go in the second. It'll be Tim Washington shooting. He'll have 2. Averages 8.8 per game. Has 6 at the moment, now 7.
And this may be what makes a difference in this run now. Glendale has gotten out to what was a 10-point lead a moment ago, now 9. But as they're going to have to start rotating some of these players with 2 fouls in and out of the game, it'll change the dynamic out here on Falcon Court.
Jackson Davis is back in for Glendale. The rebound for Hillcrest and the basket for Washington.
Washington's got 9 for the Hornets now, and he's helped them to cut down the lead 34-27.
Freeman steps in and gets fouled. What a game so far.
Be the second on Sam Terry now.
Just the 4th Hillcrest team foul.
He's the only player on Hillcrest now that has more than 1 foul.
Now a foul before the inbound pass. Will stay on Glendale's end. The foul to Washington, his first. May have said 4th while ago, but that makes 6 now. Hillcrest team foul.
A couple of them just back-to-back without any time going off the clock.
Joe Hall defended well there, and he is said to be the last to touch it.
Hard to believe that got all the way through that traffic without it bouncing off a foot or an outstretched hand, but it did. We have at least had a moment now with a timeout called by Glendale to catch our breath.
Jordan Walton leading the way for the Falcons so far with 14 points. Getting it done.
Well, he's got it done all year, Don. He had 22 points against Central, 28 points against Ozark. He averages, about 15, 16 a night, and then leads the team in assists, usually 4 or 5 assists in any contest. And Monty Joe Hall has gotten his points, but Jordan Walton, on any given night, you don't know which one of them may lead the Falcons in scoring.
And both juniors. Second quarter action. Pryor in a little trouble. Passing out of it. Barely a travel there. Now the 3, and that's good for Brendan Weaver off the Hornet bench. He himself had 26 in the JV game, and an answer for Walton on the other end.
Jordan Walton's just not taking his foot off the gas. He's got 16 now, 16 of the Falcons' 36.
To Pryor down low. That'll stay out. Walton now the other way, and he gets tripped by Clark.
So we talked about all of the Falcons with 2 fouls. Now it's the Hornets that are seeing the foul tallies jump up. Should be Sean Clark's second.
Walton to the line. Jordan is closing in on 400 points this year. Monty Joe Hall not far away from 500 this season now. That'll give Walton 394 for this season. A lot of games left.
Jordan was a second team All Ozark, All District, All Ozark Conference player a year ago. Makes both of his free throw attempts. He's already got 18, and we've still got 4.5 minutes to go until halftime.
Now the Hornets slow the pace a little. Glendale back in Class 5 this year. Washington underneath now with 11 points. After a stint in Class 4 basketball. Hillcrest still in Class 4, an enrollment of just over 1,000. Their district tournament will be at Bolivar this year, Class 4 District 9, with the Liberators, West Plains, Reed Spring, Marshfield, and Rogersville. Freeman gets it down. And look out, the Hornets are within 4. Out it comes to Freeman. Garrett Freeman, and he puts it down for his first 2.
Another 5'10" junior guard. Glendale's got a bunch of them, and now they bullet pass down to Washington. And man, Tim Washington's having a night. He only averages about 9 points a game, Don. He's already hit 13.
Yeah.
Of course, not a lot of the games the Hornets have played have maybe been played at this pace.
Here's Joe Hall, held to 8 points so far. It's Freeman from the corner. 3 won't go. Now Tyem Freeman, and count it, and a foul. And look out, that is going to be number 3 on Monty Joe Hall.
He's furious, but Tyem Freeman is flying, folks. That young man hung up there, threw it up against the window, got it to go, has a chance for the 3-point play here, and that play puts him at the line and puts Monty Joe Hall in a seat. And that may be more important than the free throw and the points.
Dylan Mativier is off the Glendale bench, and Tyem Freeman, who had a great showing at the Tournament of Champions dunk competition.
Made it to the Final Four when they cut it down. He's got 6 points now in this one.
And a reach, and it's stolen by Josh Powell, and a foul goes to Jackson Davis.
Now Davis was probably the one Falcon that could afford a foul. Should only be his first, but look at this. They say Josh Powell is their best lockdown defender from the Hill. That time he picked the Falcons' pockets, took it the other way, and now he'll have his chance at the stripe.
Well, Hillcrest has not led since late in the first quarter when it was 20-19. And they're not going to lead off of this sequence now as Powell misses the first.
Powell had a good night against Waynesville last week, dropped 7 points in that contest. Gets his first one of the night here, going 1 of 2 at the line.
That's the first tie of the night, 40-40 in the second.
With 2.5 minutes still to play.
What a pace. This goes through and out of bounds.
Dylan Mativier was pleading that it was last touched by one of the Hornets, but the official's not buying it.
Glendale's district will be here this year at Falcon Court with Branson, Kickapoo, Ozark, and Parkview in Class 5 District 11. There's a meeting tonight going on about what kind of schedule they're going to play.
That is a district of death, man. That is a lot of talented ball teams.
Of course, the team's not being seeded, but they're coming up with a schedule tonight. Down to Josh Powell, and Hillcrest is back on top.
See if Jordan Walton doesn't try and take over here, the game's leading scorer with 18. A scoop shot goes. He's got 20 now. Just when you need it, Jordan Walton answers the bell.
Pryor finds Freeman, and now to the inside. The 2 short for Brendan Weaver. Another chance and fouled for 2.
Weaver did a great job that time of following his own shot. He continued to the rim, draws the foul on Dylan Mativier, his first. And he gets a chance to go to the line now after, I believe you said, dropping 26 in that JV game.
4 now in this one after he hit an early 3. Averages 3.2 on the varsity.
6'1", just a sophomore for Coach Brown. And the student sections are going at one another now with the chants back and forth.
Now Sam Terry here is going to get his 3rd foul. Asking to make sure of what he did. Pleading his case, but he will get his 3rd.
There has been more of that tonight than I care to see. There's definitely been a lot of conversations with Darren Banner and Jason Isles and Landon Gray tonight about what's going on and what they're doing. None of it, however, has slowed down Jordan Walton. He's going to shoot for the tie here. And just a nice round 22 points here in the first half.
Whew, 44 apiece.
Take a deep breath, Parker.
Inside, taken away by Davis. Here comes Walton. Look at Walton go, but no finish.
Just some of the sickest handles that you're going to see in Southwest Missouri. No finish that time.
Got to be a charge.
Yep.
Yes, offensive.
We're going the other way.
Malik Starks, player control.
His first foul. And Starks, a big man. Glendale defense beat him to the spot. Glendale will have another chance to shoot for the lead here, all knotted up at 44.
Under a minute, first half. Walton floats it home for 24. Now a miss for Freeman, but he's fouled on his way in. And it goes to Josh Call, and that's his 3rd. For the second Glendale starter with foul number 3. Joe Hall the other.
Maybe interesting who's available to play in the 4th quarter of this one. Ty Freeman knocks down the first free throw.
Especially when Brian McTagg really only plays 7.
7 for the Falcons, only really about 8 or so for the Hornets. So both teams in the same spot here.
Freeman, 1 for 2. Now 33 seconds for the Falcons.
See if they get the ball to number 11 and let the offense run through him. Right now it's Garrett Freeman running it down, but I've got to think that Walton would get it.
Picked by Tyam Freeman. Will they call this intentional? They're going to get together.
I think it should be, Don. He wrapped him. There it is. Intentional foul. That's the right call. You see Freeman, the takeaway, he palms it, and then there's the foul there, and then the grab comes afterwards.
So Freeman,
and here's both arms on him, pulling back the left arm. But Freeman, the last time at the free throw line, went 1 of 2. He needs to do better than that here, and he knocks down the first.
That'll tie it up. And now it'll be Hornets ball with the lead and 19.4 to go.
It may not be packed in here tonight, but it is loud in here tonight.
It is intense. From the corner, the 3 clips off the rim by Weaver, and a foul on the rebound.
They get Malik Starks again. They did.
His second. By the way, that was Garrett Freeman's third foul a while ago. Now it's Dylan Metivier shooting, and he is 22 of 23 at the free throw line this year.
That's a nice 96% average, the stripe.
Just 3 points a game average, but he can hit them from 15 feet out.
Those are Blake Ahern-esque numbers right there.
Sean Clark in for the Hornets. Two for Metivier. Glendale by one. Hornets a last chance. Five seconds. Clark to the corner. Pryor. And that isn't gonna count. Off the top of the backboard, it hit the wiring. How about this? At the half at Glendale, it's the Falcons 48, the Hornets 47.
For a phone service that's big on features, but not on price? Mediacom's digital phone service has you covered. With unlimited nationwide calling, you can feel close to friends and family, even when you're far away. Plus, you get reliable service, caller ID on TV, and 16 free calling features like call waiting, call forwarding, and more. All for just $5 a month for 1 year. Talk more, pay less. Get digital phone from Mediacom. Call 888-SIMPLIFY today.
Glendale by a point, 48-47 at halftime over Hillcrest here at Glendale High School. That was a pretty amazing half of basketball to watch.
It is as much fun as you can have on a weeknight at Springfield, and there are a lot of highlights to pick from. Tim Washington getting the scoring started for Hillcrest.
Sam Terry with the basket here. Monty Johal held to 8 points and 3 fouls in the first half.
Which is saying something when he averages about 27. Then you see Jackson Davis, one of his 3 3-pointers. Johal, a strong finish here, but Hillcrest punching and counter-punching. There, a great interception by Josh Gall. They would go the other way. There's the sweet pass and finish from Sean Clark. Then the Falcons take their shooting back outside. There's another Jackson Davis 3. Then outside to Winston Quinn, his only make, a hard foul, but Tyon Freeman able to fight through the contact for the and one. And then Jordan Walton goes off for 24 of the Falcons' 48 through 2 quarters of play.
We'll catch our breath and be ready for third quarter action when we come back to Glendale as the Crimson Girls entertain at halftime.
When you upgrade to TiVo, you get the power to watch what you want, when you want, anywhere in your home. Netflix, live TV, recorded shows. With TiVo, it's all right here, or right here. Sweet. So every screen is a TV screen. And with the TiVo app, take TiVo to go. You can even set recordings remotely. Watch TV on your terms. Upgrade to TiVo today for $14.95 a month for 1 year. Call 888-SIMPLIFY for details.
On to the third quarter. There were 9 lead changes and 3 ties in the first half. And the Glendale Falcons come away with a 1-point lead. Monty Johal held to 8 points. He had 3 personal fouls in the first half.
He's not the only Falcon that's going to be playing with 3 fouls in the second half either. Josh Call picked up his third. Garrett Freeman picked up his third as well.
Tim Washington finishing with a Hornet high of 13 in the first half. Tyem Freeman with 9. On to the third we go. Hornets ball to start it out, and here is Corey Riggs.
Thank you, Don. Hornets with a chance to swing the pendulum in their direction to start the third quarter of play here, down 1, and a very different pace to the start of this one as Cole Pryor drives, kicks it back out. Freeman from the corner for 3, and he snaps the net. Tyem Freeman with a dozen. The Hornets are up 2. Johal tries to answer. Malik Starks with the rebound. Freeman knocked down 1 3, leaves that one short. Jordan Walton saves the ball from in front of the Hornet bench and thought he was going to run up here, Don, about 2 rows into the stands. There's a 3-point answer. How do you leave Jackson Davis alone? He's got 12, 4 3-pointers.
And we're 51-50. We're Van Halen a minute into the third quarter.
Probably my second favorite album from them. Freeman, the miss, the offensive rebound, and he gets 2 more. Tyem Freeman leaps up over everybody. Gives the Hornets the 1-point lead. Johal baseline drive. They work it back around the perimeter. This time, the Falcons launch from 3 again. It's a miss from Garrett Freeman. Another rebound to Malik Starks, his third.
Yeah, that had to be a foul on Starks.
And he may be the first Hornet to collect 3 fouls, and he does. That's his third personal. And I think that'll get Sean Clark quickly into the game. Falcons with the ball down 1 here. Another 3-pointer left short. Man, can Tyem Freeman just jump out of the gym. Here he goes, coast to coast, swatted! Swatted by Jackson Davis. And now Freeman's going to get called for the offensive foul. And poor Josh Call got run over that time.
Shoulder drop here for Tyem Freeman. Pretty easy to call, but the swat by Jackson Davis to get that started.
Great job by Davis. 5'10", blocked 6'4". Those are some major ups. Falcons trying to take the lead back here, and there'll be a hand check foul on Tim Washington. It'll be Washington's second.
Hillcrest's only losses have been to Raytown South and Parkview in the Missouri Basketball Coaches Association Classic at Parkview to start the season, and to Bolivar.
Jordan Walton now called for the player control foul, so we've got 1 on the Hornets end and 1 on the Falcons end, but that puts Jordan Walton in the danger zone now. He's got 3 fouls. Sam Terry got there first. Got set and was waiting when Walton came through the lane.
Glendale only 2 losses to Missouri teams, to Nixa and Republic. They went to Florida and played some high caliber competition there.
Great inlet pass again to find Tim Washington. Tim Washington has 15 points. His team has done an incredible job locating him tonight. As there's the answer on the other end. Josh Call gets in the scorebook for the first time tonight. Hillcrest with a 1-point lead. Look at this. A steal for Jackson Davis. He's got a block and a steal this quarter. Outside for 3. Too much that time by Davis. And the rebound comes back to the Falcons.
Johal with the poke there to get the rebound. Took a risk with 3 fouls.
Well, there's going to be a lot of that going on here, especially for the Falcons. Johal crosses over his man, launches from 3, no good. Freeman with the board, the dish to Washington, and Tim Washington gets 2 more. 17 points now for the young man that was an all-conference defensive player last year in the Ozark Conference. It's 56-53 Hillcrest. And Don, we've been waiting to show you some of what Tim Washington has done tonight. He has been impressive.
It's just been a little bit of everything for Tim Washington. How does he get so wide open under the basket right there? For 2 of his 17 points, more stuff on the inside for Washington from the first half. He puts this one in at close range, and Washington getting it done. His season high is 19. He did that against Central and also against Rolla in the double overtime game. He's got 17 already tonight.
Hillcrest, Don told you that Glendale owns the old-time series 75-38, but these Hornets won the first ever game with the Falcons back at Hillcrest January 3rd of 1964 as we get a little water cleaned up, and that game was not a whole lot different than this one. It was a 1-point game as well, but here in about another 10 points, we're going to pass the total of that one. It was 62-61 Hornets. Walton to Davis, NBA range 3 goes down. His 5th trifecta of the night. 15 points for Davis, and we're tied again. Freeman through 3 Falcons. Finds Sam Terry, who spins and misses, but Freeman just gets the rebound over the top of everybody else. He's got 16 points and 4 boards. Walton pull-up J, money. 26 now for Jordan Walton. His 26 leads all scores.
He's clear of the 400-point mark for this year now.
Freeman a little out of control, finds Pryor. He pulls up from the elbow. His shot pinballs out. Freeman the last one to touch it. The ball goes back to the Falcons. Josh Powell checks into the game for second-year head coach Joel Brown. Talk about Joe Hall and Walton as a freshman. Monty scored 332 points. Jordan scored 398. There's 3 more for Joe Hall. 11 points now for Monty Joe Hall. That 398 that Walton scored his freshman year, the freshman record at Glendale. And Sean Clark gets the blocking call here as he collided with Jackson Davis.
Second foul on Davis. Didn't quite get there in the judgment of Landon Gray.
Sean Clark to the line here, trying to make it a 1-point game. His Hornets down 3. That one too strong, rolls out.
Busy week for Hillcrest. They'll be in the Bolivar tournament later this week and play Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in Bolivar. They're the number 2 seed. They play Branson on Thursday night. They'll also have games Friday and Saturday. Bolivar is the number 1 seed there. Yes, by virtue of their head-to-head win over Hillcrest.
Branson down in that same district as Glendale. Another 3, and he does it. Jackson Davis, 6 3-pointers through 3 quarters of play here at Glendale. Brendan Weaver back into the game now for the Hornets. Powell skip pass to Pryor. The double team comes to Cole Pryor, and he almost turns it over. 2:45 to play. Walton tries to save it back in, but he can't.
Dangerous place for a save over there in that corner of the bleachers.
Well, the only place where there's a handrail.
I guess so.
And that was eye level with Jordan Walton. So
right over there by his dad, Brian Walton.
So I think he can wait and see Dad after the game. Washington goes behind the back. Pryor for 3. Yes! Cole Pryor. He's got 9. It's 64-62 Glendale. Walton thinks about the 3. Davis This would be his 7th. That one's short. Rebound to Washington. Powell's going to have to track it down, and he does. What an athletic play by Josh Powell. Walton cuts through the Hornets defense and answers right back. Walton with 28. It's a 2-point game, 66-64 Glendale. Powell, baseline drive, has it taken away. Taken away by Davis. Joe Hall through 3 Hornets, and he has it stolen right back. Joe Hall waiting back. Walton finds him, the 3, too much. Cole Pryor grabs it, and the Hillcrest takes their foot off the accelerator for just a second. Shooting for the tie. Clark, no. Rebound out of control is Jackson Davis. He was going to get called for a travel. Instead, it's a Hornets foul. Sean Clark called for his 3rd personal, the team's 4th here with 1:16. See the rebound, but Clark with the reach in, and the reaction is priceless.
3rd foul to Clark. Fouls are fairly low. That's 4 on the Hornets, just 2 on Glendale here in the 3rd.
Walton splits a pair of defenders, sends it out to Freeman. Joe Hall with it now. Back out. Walton, 3-ball, no. Big rebound for the Hornets here under a minute to go. Running the floor was Terry. It's tipped out of bounds by the Falcons.
Interesting part is Walton doesn't have a 3 all night. He's done all of this 2 at a time with just a couple of free throws.
He's gotten to 28 the old-fashioned way. Tying Freeman from 3 in the corner. He snaps the net. His 2nd triple of the quarter. He's got 18 points, and the Hornets have a 1-point lead.
That's the 13th lead change of the night.
Holy cow. 3 for the Falcons, down the well for Garrett Freeman. He spotted up and nobody put a hand in his face. Tyam Freeman answers, and we're back to 69 and another tie.
The 7th of the night of those. What a game.
This will be one for the old Mediacom rewind. Joe Hall holding for 1 with 10 seconds. 10 or 11 here. Walton for 3, no. Hornets get the rebound and a foul with 1.7 seconds. It's going to be the 4th foul against Garrett Freeman. Coach McTagg is irate, but I don't think he's upset with the call. I think he's upset with the play. It was a bad foul by Freeman with only 1.7 seconds. Freeman goes out. Jackson Davis comes back in. Sam Terry also out. Sean Clark checks in for the Hornets here with 1.7 seconds in a 69-69 affair.
Branch Schafitzel to throw it in.
A football player gets intercepted. Joe Hall, the half-court shot, won't find its way home, and that's how we end the 3rd quarter of play. The Glendale Falcons have scored 69. The Hillcrest Hornets have scored 69 in one of the marquee matchups of the basketball season. We'll be back with the 4th quarter after this.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
The student section from Hillcrest erupting inside Glendale High School. Hillcrest and Glendale tied up at 69 points apiece. To take you the rest of the way in the fourth quarter and maybe beyond, here's Don West.
I love that school spirit, and I miss it in a lot of places.
And no lack of it here tonight at Falcon Court.
69 all. And Glendale to get it started in the fourth. Joe Hall covered up hard by Washington. He'll fade away and knock it in. And that's 13, and that's an even 500 points this year for Joe Hall. The answer for Washington on the other end.
How has no one found Tim Washington on the defensive end of the floor for Glendale?
Joe Hall again. Oh, down for three.
And they even knocked him down, and he still made it. Joe Hall is heating up, but Tim Washington seems to have an answer.
He gets a rebound here. He's also the Falcon leading rebounder at over 6 a game. And why not? He's the tallest Falcon at 6'3". The rest of them are 6-foot guards.
Yeah, about 116 rebounds on the season as Walton tries to light the lamp, and he does.
That's 31 for Jordan Walton. Timeout for Joel Brown.
Joel Brown has seen enough as the Falcons, between Monty Joe Hall and Jordan Walton, have come out shooting lights out to start the fourth. 77-71. It's been a 6-point lead now after a tie game. And look at all the three-pointers that Jackson Davis has rained down in this one, Don. 14 points per game for the 5'10" junior. He's got 18 points because he's knocked them all down from beyond the arc.
So he averages right at 14, and he averages over 10 points a game just in threes. The Falcons are loving it tonight, too. Jackson Davis, 18 points on 6 threes. Glendale on a bit of a run here. There hasn't been much of any separation this large tonight. A 6-point Glendale lead.
Davis, Joe Hall, and Walton, the 3 scorers for Glendale, all in double digits. 2 for Hillcrest as Cole Pryor tries to hit from 3.
Walton on the run. Out to Davis. Not there. Now Sam Terry. Straight to the basket. Followed up and missed by Washington. Starks off balance. Another chance for Hillcrest. No. 4 misses for the Hornets. Now Joe Hall glides to the basket.
Wow. Did you see that?
It's an 8-0 run for Glendale. With under 6 to go. Ty Freeman with a miss. Hillcrest getting cold from the field. And a reach on Ty Freeman.
That's just a frustration foul on Ty Freeman. But let's go back to Monty Joe Hall's last bucket. He got the rebound on the other end, turns, goes behind the back, off the glass and down. Oh, man. What a play. And he is gasping for air here.
A little bit of a breather. 5:40 to go. Uh-oh. Trouble for Walton, and now it's Clark on the other end.
Joel Brown had just taken the timeout to talk to his team. They immediately turn that into points.
The 8-0 run ends. Now a drive by Davis. Count it, and the foul. And Davis will try to keep up his string of getting them 3 at a time.
Well, it will snap all of the natural threes that he's knocked down. And they got Sam Terry. That's his 4th personal, Don, so he'll come over to the bench with Coach Brown.
Josh Powell is in. And the free throw for Davis for 21 points. 9-point lead for Glendale, their biggest of the night.
An 80% free throw shooter and a 40% three-point shooter is Davis.
A steal for Walton.
He's got over 50 steals this season. He came into the night with 49, and he's had a couple of them in this one.
Joe Hall to the basket, and that basket gives Glendale 3 20-point scorers tonight. Freeman left it short.
It also gives them their biggest lead of the night. They're up now 84-73. It's an 11-point game. Great defense that time by Josh Powell, but Falcons able to keep possession.
So Joe Hall 20 points, Jackson Davis 21, Jordan Walton 31. 320s is pretty rare, especially in high school.
Powell nearly picks Freeman's pocket again, and this time they'll get him for the reach.
So Glendale with an 11-point lead, and now it'll be Freeman shooting to extend it.
Garrett Freeman, a 71% free throw shooter. Had a 10-point night against Ozark earlier in the season.
Four and a half minutes left. Freeman gives the Falcons their new biggest margin of the night, 86-73. Joel Brown says, let's go, get it up floor.
Well, you haven't taken your foot off the gas all night. There's no reason to do it now when you're down 13.
Yes, a friendly bounce and timeout. Freeman hits the three. Timeout for Joel Brown. That's 24 points for Ty.M. Freeman.
Friendly bounce is a mild understatement. As that one used about every inch of the iron there was, a little bit of the backboard, and finally fell. As you get an opportunity to look at what's coming up for the Hornets. Don told you about the Bolivar tournament. Then they've got home games against Parkview and Joplin. They hit the road to take on Lebanon. They get the luxury of playing West Plains at home. They don't have to make that road trip, but a rough way to end your season at Kickapoo on February 21st.
We'll have TV of that game on Feb 21. I mean, Parkview has already beaten Hillcrest. How good and how even is the city this year? Kickapoo maybe a step, just half a step above the others, but everyone's going to get their head-to-head chance against the Chiefs.
Yeah, the Chiefs' record doesn't maybe look as good as some, and they've dropped a little bit in the state rankings, but that's only because when you take a couple of losses, you've got to remember they were Tournament of Champions losses. They were to teams that are ranked in the top 10 in the nation. Those are quality losses, and Kickapoo acquitted themselves very well in that tournament, did get one win over Republic in the 7th place game.
We'll have the Kickapoo-Glendale game at Drury coming up in early February as well.
We'll have both of them, the girls game, then the boys game on back-to-back nights, a Monday and Tuesday, early February.
4 minutes left. Walton picked, and Freeman fires it home.
I told you he was going to get up and try to break one of those backboards.
Timeout, Glendale.
Yeah, they've cut it under 10 with as impressive as a dunk as you're going to see thrown down by a high schooler. 6'4" skywalking Ty Freeman. This time coming right into your living room, and that should be a poster for somebody.
So Glendale's 13-point lead is cut to 8. And it's still very much in doubt with 3:45 to go.
All sorts of time left in a game that's been played at the pace of this one. You see Monty Joe Hall back out on the court, a slow start for him. He and Jordan Walton are just going to be talked about for a long time at this school. Jordan got to 500 points first, and it only took him 35 games. Joe Hall went to 500 points on his 36th game just later that week.
Glendale inbounds. Hillcrest still keeping the defense just crazy tight. Now a foul on Sean Clark. His fourth. Garrett Freeman shooting.
The team's 8. Don, only 3 fouls called against the Falcons here so far. Freeman's able to put that one home. Garrett Freeman now with 8.
One more 1-and-1 for Glendale after this one, and then double bonus. Falcons by 10, 3.5 minutes to play. Underneath. Oh, wow!
Somebody call Sports Center, because Ty Freeman is trying to bring his team back with a highlight reel in his hip pocket.
Now Joe Hall. Tapped out. Walton controls. Now a kick.
Now an unintentional kick. Freeman leapt. Walton tried to thread the needle, and he was unable to. One more look at the alley and the oop. The two-handed thunder dunk for Ty Freeman.
Hold on. Landon Gray calls an official timeout. He's going to back Freeman up a little bit.
Freeman had stepped across the out-of-bounds line. That's what Landon's saying, is he
can't break the plane of that line.
Yeah.
You can't reach across the plane. Ooh, if he does it again, it's a technical. Now a foul is called by Darren Banner out front.
That's going to be the night for Sean Clark. I think Darren's got number 5, and that's 5 fouls on Hillcrest number 5.
So Clark is done with 9 points and 3:03 to go.
Joel Brown going to use the time here wisely. You know, sometimes you hear about players don't act like a freshman or a sophomore anymore. They've matured. Joel Brown doesn't look like a second-year head coach anymore.
Indeed. From Springfield, Illinois, played at Evangel 2004 to 08.
Got the opportunity to study under some pretty good coaches, and Steve Jenkins at Evangel and Coach Rippey at Kickapoo.
10 for Freeman. 5 years in 2 different stints as an assistant at Kickapoo for Joel Brown. He was an Evangel GA for 1 year too.
Garrett Freeman's on a streak from the free throw line here too, Don.
90 to 80. And Joel says go again. Under 3 minutes to go. A reach is called on Josh Call. That'll be his 4th. But Hillcrest isn't in the bonus yet.
Now this final 3 minutes, you're going to start seeing bodies that can't play basketball anymore, because we're going to start to have a series of DQs here based on the personal foul counts that they tallied up in the first quarter of play.
Freeman's 3. Big collision in the lane, and Josh Call got caught in a Hornet sandwich there. Is still down.
Now, there was nothing intentional. There was nothing flagrant here. This was just bad luck for Josh Call, who gets a nice round of applause. But there are a lot of bodies converging on this, and he ended up in the middle of a 3 Hornet hive and goes all the way to the hardwood. That'll send Josh Call to the free throw line on the other end, where Glendale has been just lights out. As a team, they shoot 79% at the free throw line. They've looked better than that here in the fourth quarter.
I mean, that's just unheard of for a high school team. 79% and better than that tonight.
Now, but you look up and down the list. Joe Hall, 82%. Walton, 82%. Davis, 80%. Josh Call is 85%. I mean, they put in the time.
Glendale by 12. Freeman. And Call has to duck out of the way.
Oh, that one made me nervous.
It's a 4th foul on Monty Johal. called Joe Hall from behind there. And it's Freeman shooting. 28 points is a season high for him. And now 29.
So Joe Hall going to have to change his game a little bit here with 4 fouls. He's got 4. Walton's got 3. Josh Call with 4. Garrett Freeman with 4. So Jordan Walton, the only Glendale starter that doesn't have 4 fouls now.
Davis just with 2, but the rest have 4. 30 points for Ty.M. Freeman. 92-82 Falcons. A steal for Starks. And the layup is there for Malik Starks. It's an 8-point game. 2.5 to go.
Full court pressure now applied by the Hornets, pestering Walton as he tries to bring it up.
He kicks it, and Starks is the last to touch it.
Great effort out of Malik Starks. He just got the steal and the 2, and there he almost comes up with another one. His team down 8. They've had a hard time getting over this 6 to 8 point hump.
Now a foul on Freeman, on Ty.M. Freeman, with Garrett Freeman holding the ball. So Garrett Freeman will have now the 2-shot bonus for Glendale.
Garrett Freeman has been perfect at the line. He's had 2 trips the second half. He's been 4 of 4 his last 2 trips up.
Ooh, stays out. Cole Pryor back in for the Hornets. So Hillcrest will stay within 3 possessions here. Freeman gets the second.
The call here for the Hornets is UCLA.
Here goes Freeman into the lane. They'll kick out to Starks for 3. No. Comes back to him, and they're going to hit Walton with the foul, and that'll be his 4th.
Well, I said I thought Jordan Walton was one of the only players on the floor without 4 fouls for the Falcons, and now he joins that club. Boy, Malik Starks, he follows his shot, just what a coach asks you to do. Walton collides with him.
6 team fouls. Freeman misses the 3. Malik Starks the dish to Washington. And timeout. 21 for Tim Washington. 93-86 with 1:56 to go.
Well, it's not 7 points anymore. It's not 8 points anymore. It's 7.
Glendale, the trip to West Plains. The date with Kickapoo on February 7th at Drury. We'll have TV of that on MC22. Mostly Ozark Conference games, and Central that'll be coming back into the Ozark Conference next year. And there's still a makeup date with Waynesville to be added there. They haven't got a date settled on that yet, but they got iced out there a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, because everybody's down. That's just the point of the season we're in now. 6 games, 7 games is all anybody has left between now and district time.
Fun times tonight at Glendale.
How do they even know the words to that song? That's from Dirty Dancing.
I can't even hear it. It's too loud.
Somebody's decided to play I Had the Time of My Life right now.
.156 left. Length of the court to go for the Falcons. The difference is 7. Find Joe Hall. He is trapped and in jail and timeout. And both coaches will be down to 1 now.
It's a smart move. You don't want to turn the ball over on the pressure defense. Right now the momentum is with the Hornets, so Joe Hall, a heady move to go ahead and call the timeout here with 1:54. Remind you can check out our programming schedule, purchase DVDs and more. Just log on to the website at www.mc22.net and order DVDs of games like tonight's. And I would think this would be a fairly good one to grab for your collection at home.
Earlier this season, we had Parkview's 1,000th all-time win. Glendale is fairly close to that now. They have 982 all-time wins. They don't have enough games left to get to 1,000 this year.
Something to look forward to for next year.
Yep. Hillcrest with 840 all-time wins in boys basketball. And a foul is going to put Jordan Walton at the free throw line. It'll be the 2-shot bonus as the foul goes to Josh Powell. Jordan Walton at 31 points. His career high is 37. And if he got to 37, he'd move up a notch on the Glendale scoring list ahead of Kurt Brockman.
Just passed, what was it, Brandon Kimbrough last week.
Yeah.
Jordan makes the first. We get to see now Coach Kimbrough on a regular basis as he's the assistant, one of the assistant coaches for Steve Hesser at Drury.
Three-point night for Walton. 95-86 Falcons. Here's Pryor. Oh, they needed that one.
6-point game. 2 possessions.
Walton through the traffic. Back it out, 1.5 minutes to go. And the Hornets nearly got the steal, but they're out of bounds. And Josh Powell better take it easy. Now a warning, now a technical to Joe Brown. Jason Isles gave him a warning and he said something else. So now 2 free throws for the Falcons.
This is just a great hustle play, but what happens is Powell falls out of bounds. The ball makes contact with Powell, and it's out of bounds ball to Glendale. I know it's a frustrating call. It's the right call.
Now Walton will shoot. He'll have 2, and the Falcons will have the ball.
And at a moment when it would have appeared that all of the momentum had swung back to the Hornets, a big 3 by Cole Pryor, and then the out-of-bounds call. There's a miss by Walton, and then the technical foul.
Falcons ball at midcourt out of this. Now a foul before the inbounds. And is that on Walton?
It is.
That's his 5th. So Jordan Walton will be done with 34 points tonight. Watch this.
Yeah.
Leading with his arms.
You put the elbow and the forearm up like that. You can try and drive your man a little bit, but once you put that arm up there for that separation, that will get you called. Darren Banner makes the call.
Brian McTagg wants a little further explanation. And a consultation with Darren Banner for Landon Gray.
Well, it's not a question about whether or not it was a foul. It's a question of whether or not Hillcrest is shooting 1 or 2 free throws here. This should be a 1 and 1.
They've got 17 fouls in the second half on the board against Glendale. 3, 4, 5, 6, and I have 7 also. The technical counts as a team foul for Hillcrest, but they're already past the 10 limit. Okay, so they're going to say it's an
Non-shooting foul.
Well, a foul with the ball, a foul on offense for Walton, and so it's a non-shooting foul. So Hillcrest ball at half court.
Can the Hornets find another three?
Freeman underneath. Washington with the 2. A 5-point game. Freeman trapped. And timeout. Timeout for Glendale.
That is the last timeout of the game for Coach McTagg and the Glendale Falcons. More just incredible pressure defense by Hillcrest tonight. I had heard that they had ratcheted up their defensive intensity. And I know it's cliche to talk about that when it's a 96-91 game, but they are forcing turnovers and forcing them to burn timeouts.
Follow us on Twitter at Connections22. Get details about games like this that you see on MC22. (96-91), Glendale with 1:12 to go. Falcons length of the court to go. Glendale is out of timeouts. Hillcrest has 1 left.
And you've got to look too at who can foul now for Hillcrest as they fight against the clock here. Who's got fouls to give? And they've got Cole Pryor has none.
Terry with the bump.
Sam Terry has 4.
The bump on Terry there, and that will be his 5th once they get the officials' attention.
No, they've put it up there, yeah.
So Terry is out with 3 points, and now 5 fouls.
Terry just a little bump. And that's his 9th.
2 for Freeman.
Terry had 3 points in the first half. None here in the second half. Did a good job trying to sell the no call, but nobody was buying.
Falcons by 7. And a foul to Freeman is going to be his 5th. It's going to be now a technical. That is also on Freeman.
He was gone, and now he's really gone.
So here come 4 shots in the ball for Hillcrest. Let's watch. It's going to be the reaction after this.
So he bounds into him.
The first one is down.
One of those, you can't say that on television sort of moments. Cole Pryor shooting the free throws here.
Dylan Mativier is in. 2 Falcons are down now. Walton and Freeman both fouled out, and Pryor has shot 1 of the 2 on the personal foul. They may just keep him at the line now for 2 more.
Oh, why not? He's got 14 points now.
Starks is waved off, and Pryor for 2 more. It's a 1-possession game with 1:01 to go.
But who steps up now? Sean Clark's on the bench. He's fouled out. Jordan Walton's on the bench. He's fouled out. Oh, man.
Hornets down 3. Freeman for the tie. Not there. Washington for 2. And timeout Hillcrest. Joe Brown will get his last timeout. 98-97. 45.8 to go. A game for the ages tonight at Glendale.
A miss from Freeman and Washington, who has just always found the right spot on the floor to be tonight. Again, this time perfect rebounding position, skies for the ball, and makes it a 1-point game. A great reason to celebrate. The Hillcrest student section trying to blow the roof off of the gym. Nobody has any timeouts left.
They're out there for good now. Glendale by 1. They find Johal. Got a clear center court. There's a foul on. Is it Powell or Freeman? Probably Powell. Yes. Josh Powell's fourth.
His fifth.
I'm sorry,
Powell
he's
is
fifth.
done.
I was missing one there. So Powell is out.
So you are about to see the textbook definition of attrition. Now Brendan Weaver is going to check into the game. And here you see in between the double team, Johal splits them. Powell reaches the whistle, and his night is done.
3 Hornets fouled out, 2 Falcons fouled out. Johal for 2.
A rare miss by Monty Johal, and it gets a round of applause from Josh Powell as he feels a little less sting now from that foul.
.40 seconds. Hillcrest down 2. Remember, no timeouts on either side. Freeman, the spin, the lean, and the score! Tie game at 99. To Quinn, he hangs on inside an open lane, and Glendale's going to take it back out. Johal off to Quinn for 3, no! Are you kidding me? Overtime tied at 99.
It's too good to end just yet. Somebody make some room on the scoreboard. 99-99. Here's the finish. Freeman. A great spin around Johal, and it rolls through to get us to 99. He had to go around one defender. A great step across in the lane. And as clutch a shot as that young man has hit in his career, only a sophomore. And we are going to overtime.
So here's what we're faced with now. If anybody else fouls out, then someone has to come into the game that hasn't been in yet.
That's right.
Glendale has played 7. They've fouled out 2. Hillcrest has played 8.
Get your scorecards out because you're about to see some numbers you haven't seen.
Actually, with Branch Schafitzel, they would have an 8th player that has been in the game. So Hillcrest has that little bit of margin, but it's very razor thin. On to overtime.
Overtime sometimes can be all about the stars because it's a short run. Monty Johal will stay in the game with only 4 fouls. Ty Freeman has only 3, and that may end up being a difference in this one. They are done with their consultation and ready to jump this one up again.
Hornets control. To the basket. Starks, no. His own rebound, and he's fouled.
But by who? Joe Hall was there, but you've got Dylan Metivier waving his hand saying, give the foul to me, give the foul to me, and they do to keep Joe Hall alive.
Great effort by Malik Starks.
Again, going up after his shot.
Starks for two.
And you got to think Starks, even though I don't have the numbers to back it up, is a pretty good free throw shooter. It looked like they wanted to send him up there for the technicals.
Right.
But Pryor was in the zone, so they waved him off.
Just one. Joe Hall on the board. To the corner to Quinn for three.
Now he had that same shot in the corner on the opposite side for the win and didn't hit it. He buries it here.
Now what do we have? A foul
on Cole Pryor.
They counted the three. And the foul is away from the ball because Josh Call is shooting.
They say Pryor cleared his man out. That is only the first foul called against Cole Pryor in the 4 quarters of regulation. He makes it all the way to overtime before collecting his first personal.
Josh Call is at the line.
So a huge swing here with a made 3 and now 2 free throws. Call knocks down the first.
And both. Falcons by 4.
Plenty of time still for the Hornets. They don't need 3. Metivier runs in and will probably get called for the foul here. As Dylan Metivier has kind of become the safety valve for the rest of the Falcons. Wherever the ball goes, Dylan goes to make sure there's an opportunity that he can be called for the foul and not somebody like Josh Call or Monty Joe Hall.
Now it's Freeman for 2. He has his career high with 33.
Love this kid plays with a ton of emotion on top of a ton of talent. Now they're going to call Tim Washington. He turned around on the inbounds play and grabbed the jersey on either side of the man he was defending. They didn't even have to inbounds it. They were going to whistle that. It's going to send Monty Joe Hall to the other end. Watch it here. He's just jostling position, got a hand on the front, a hand on the back, and
so it's Joe Hall for 2. It stays in on the first.
that was the 3rd personal foul on Tim Washington as Joel Brown, his assistants look on. Corey Tillery, the former Parkview standout, Evangel basketball player.
Glendale by 4, Starks to the basket. He gets fouled for 2. It goes to Metivier. It's his 4th. And so now he's got to be careful.
He's climbed the ladder in a hurry, doing a very, very fashionable Kurt Rambis impersonation tonight. Malik Starks went 1 of 2 his last trip to the charity stripe, and he misses the first one here, and you can't miss the free ones right now with the clock stopped.
He gets 1. Falcons by 3. Each coach with the overtime timeout now back in on their side. Joe Hall lost the ball. The scramble. Who's got it? Timeout. Jason Isles said that Glendale had control there. It's a full timeout.
Tim Washington dove and created the turnover. Then it was just a rugby scrum, and Monty Johal, just like in the NFL, you don't have to possess the ball when you hit the ground or anything else. You just have to have it at the right time. Johal gets it, falls flat on his back, looks up and calls a timeout. Watch him here. He scoops it in,
just enough.
And he's literally on Isles' feet and calls the timeout.
Friends, we haven't seen anything like this. But it's sure great to be here tonight.
It is that. Student sections, I don't think have sat down since somewhere around the third quarter.
Sure, Pat Daly will be going to the Glendale record books after this one. Could be two teams combined points record of some sort for SPS too.
Apparently we're not the only overtime game in town tonight.
No kidding.
Yeah, looks like the Bears and Drake are going to overtime.
3 minutes left here. Now over the top to Johal. Oh, nobody home. He threw it to Darren Banner, the official.
Miscommunication that time between Jackson Davis and Monty Johal. Johal had already curled around Davis's position. Davis thought he was still there, and it's a free ball for the Hornets.
Tyen Freeman off the edge of the board. Johal gets stripped of the ball, and it's Glendale possession. Ahead to Josh Call. They'll find Johal. Got to clear midcourt, and they do. Stumbles to the basket and a travel.
Johal wanted a foul call, and it did not come. A bump, and he took the extra step.
So a one-possession game for Joel Brown's Hornets. Pryor will go for the tie, and that's off.
Monty Johal has grabbed about 3 rebounds in this overtime period, and now will be fouled right in front of the Hornets bench.
It's going to be all for Starks.
Johal just looks tired, Don. He's taken a minute to tie his shoe, and I don't think it's for any reason other than to take a minute to catch his breath.
Malik Starks is the 4th Hornet to foul out. Powell, Clark, Terry, and now Starks. And Brant Schafitzel is indeed out there now for Hillcrest. It's Johal for 2.
Schafitzel, a 3-sport athlete at Hillcrest, plays football, basketball, and baseball for his dad, Ryan, the coach, out on the hill.
We have seen him play all 3 in front of our MC22 cameras. 25 now for Johal. Inside. And stolen if he can stay in bounds by Josh Call.
Great job walking the tightrope, and look at this. Nobody's back to find Dylan Mativier.
First field goal of the night. Glendale by 7. Now loose. Hold on. Hornets come up with it. Freeman underneath. And out it comes to Weaver, and that won't go. Washington the rebound. Pryor for 3. Timeout Hillcrest, and the difference is 4 with 1:31 left.
Cole Pryor's 3 gives him 19. And I tell you what, there's a lot of substitute players getting into this game. and it is all about effort. Look at this now. Joe Hall dives on the floor for it. Washington, they finally get it to Freeman. He's got nowhere to go with it, has to pass out. They miss it, and Washington finds Cole Pryor wide open for another three.
Somebody tonight is going to score at least 106 and lose.
I thought that only happened in the NBA.
Incredible.
We are testing the width of that score stripe tonight. I don't think we've ever put that big a number up on it.
Now again, both sides are out of timeouts.
Which makes those inbound plays just a little bit more exciting, because you either get it in or turn it over now. And with a guy like Tyam Freeman guarding the inbounds, every one of those plays is dangerous.
It comes into Jackson Davis. Ahead to Quinn, and fouled by Brent Schafitzel. That is his first.
He fouls a young man that, well, let's see, it's 9:20. So 3 hours ago, this young man dropped 39 in the JV game. He's had time to catch his breath now.
He is still perfect on the varsity at the free throw line. Came in 4 out of 4. (112 to 106). Here's Pryor. Had to have it and got it. And that gives Hillcrest 3 20-point scores tonight.
Pryor now over 21. He lost track of the clock, Don. I mean, that's all it could be. I didn't hear the crowd chanting like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This was just one of those moments where you've got an internal clock and you're trying to decide how much time has elapsed. And he thought he needed a shot when he didn't. And instead, this foul is called against the Hornets. Schafitzel's third, and puts Joe Hall back at the line. Coach Brown has to sit back down after he got that technical foul. He's got to stay in his seat.
29 for Joe Hall. 4-point game. Hillcrest has to hurry now.
Got to get a quick look here if it's a 2. You can't waste any time, and Pryor does it again.
2 points, the difference. Over the top, and Schafitzel with the foul, and he better be careful. Quinn will shoot with 9.6 seconds.
If he misses one, this gets very interesting. It's a 2-point game. You see Schafitzel go through the air and collide with the 6'1" sophomore Winston Quinn. And he missed the first one. What did I tell you? That door still cracked open.
Game is on. Three-point game.
I'm looking for Pryor here. He's had the hot hand.
Across for the tie. No, it's an air ball. Schafitzel in Glendale wins it. 118 to 115. Incredible. Falcons with the victory in overtime.
every day across America. Excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Well, we're getting some details tonight coming across after Glendale wins 118 to 115 in overtime. It's a new Glendale record for points scored in a game, the old record 104. It has to be a Hillcrest record as well. We don't have that old record at our disposal, and it's certainly an SPS all-time record for two teams combined score in one game. Play of the game tonight, got your choice here.
Well, there's a million choices, but this is a left-handed touchdown pass from Bonnie Johal all the way down to Dylan Mativier, forced into service because of all the DQs. He hits the shot, an incredible pass that put the Falcons up 7, and they win 118 to 115.
Replay times. You might want to see this again.
I highly recommend you watch this one again. I'm going to watch it again, and I was here.
Wednesday and Thursday night at 7 and Saturday at noon. Watch for it this summer on Mediacom Rewind as well.
Guarantee it.
We'll be back here at Glendale Thursday night for a girls' game between the Lady Falcons and the Central Lady Bulldogs. I don't know what else to say. Glendale wins at 118 to 115 in overtime over Hillcrest. For Corey, I'm Don. For Steve and the crew, good night from Glendale, everyone.